Hello everyone and welcome to Study IQ English. I'm Joycey Joy and we are getting into the last chapter of Economic Survey 2021-22, and the last chapter of Economic Survey, chapter 10, deals with social infrastructure and employment. So let's get into the chapter. First, coming to the overview of this chapter. Government's key focus on providing safety nets to the vulnerable sections will be discussed in this chapter in detail. Now, this safety nets, it's from the barbell strategy which we have discussed in the first chapter, State of Indian Economy. So, in this first chapter, barbell strategy discusses about two important things. One is the safety nets and second one is flexibility in policy making. So, safety nets means whenever there is an uncertainty in the economy, whenever the economy is going through a distress, during that time, the government should bring up a safety net for the vulnerable sections of the society in order to ensure that they are able to cope up with the challenges or the risk that the uncertainty has posed. As example, in case of COVID-19 pandemic, it was mostly the vulnerable groups like the migrants, those who are involved in small businesses, MSME sector, street vendors, etc., who were mostly affected. So, the safety nets are targeted towards the vulnerable sections of the society. As per quarterly PLFS data, PLFS is Periodic Labour Force Survey. So, as per the quarterly PLFS data up to March 2021, employment in urban sector has recovered almost to the pre-pandemic level. So, according to PLFS, that is Periodic Labour Force Survey data, up to the month of March 2021, employment in urban sector has recovered to the pre-pandemic level, which means that the employment level in the urban areas has become equal to the pre-pandemic level. That is, employment has revived to the pre-pandemic level. Necessary buffer for the unorganized labor in rural areas through MGNREGA. Now, talking about the employment in rural area, the government has provided necessary buffer to the unorganized labor in rural areas through the MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Next is school infrastructure. School infrastructure in relation to education. School infrastructure has showed an improvement in 2019-20 over earlier years. So, school infrastructure has also shown an improvement as compared to the previous years or the earlier years. Next is TFR, that is total fertility rate, has come down from 2.2 in 2015-16 to 2 in 2019-21 as per the NFHS. So, total fertility rate, TFR, it has come down from 2.2. Earlier TFR was 2.2 in 2015-16 financial year. Now it is 2 in 2019-21 financial year, and this is according to the National Family Health Survey. So, this is again a positive outlook towards the social sector of the economy. Jal Jeevan Mission and Har Ghar Jal District. So, both these schemes will be discussed in this chapter. This is to provide safe drinking water. Now, coming to India's health response to the COVID-19 pandemic. How did India respond towards the COVID-19 from the health sector perspective? We have adopted a multi-pronged approach, and coming to COVID vaccination strategy, liberalized pricing and accelerated national COVID-19 vaccination strategy was adopted. Liberalized pricing means prices were kept at subsidized rates in order to improve the affordability. So, to increase or improve the affordability of vaccination, prices were liberalized and also accelerated. That is, the speed with which the vaccine coverage was given or the vaccine coverage was made was accelerated. Accelerated national COVID-19 vaccination strategy. 2 made in India COVID vaccines were introduced. One is Covaxin, another one is Covishield. Covaxin is whole viron inactivated coronavirus vaccine. So, these were made in India vaccines. Both of these were developed in India itself. Government efforts were taken to reduce the vaccine hesitancy by providing awareness about the vaccination. Campaigns were held in order to create awareness regarding the vaccination because there were many misconceptions going on that vaccines may negatively affect the health and all that. So in order to reduce the hesitancy, vaccine hesitancy, government made efforts in order to create awareness regarding the vaccination. Arogya Setu mobile application and CoWIN 2.0 along with eWIN digital platforms were introduced. These were the digital initiatives taken by the government. Digital initiatives, Arogya Setu mobile application, then CoWIN 2.0 along with eWIN digital platform. These were the digital initiatives taken by the government. Next is trends in social sector expenditure. So this is regarding the trends in the social sector expenditure. How did the government spend money on social sector, which includes education, health, then welfare and all that. Increase in government spending on social services during the pandemic. Government has increased its expenditure on its social sector spending during the pandemic period, especially from the perspective of health. Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission was introduced, a new centrally sponsored scheme. Centrally sponsored scheme where the scheme is sponsored by the central government and implemented through the state government or implemented along with the help and aid from the state government. So, centrally sponsored scheme Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission was introduced. Central and state governments budgeted expenditure on health sector reached 2.1% of GDP in 2021-22 against 1.3% in 2019-20. So, central governments and state governments budgeted expenditure on health sector. So, this is budgeted expenditure, that is the expenditure shown in the budget on health sector is 2.1% of GDP in 2021-22 financial year. And earlier 2019-20 it was 1.3. So there is an increase from 1.3% to 2.1%. National Health Policy 2017 envisaged to increase government's health expenditure to 2.5% of GDP by 2025. So National Health Policy of 2017 NHP. It envisages to increase government's health expenditure to 2.5% of GDP. So, government's health expenditure will be increased to 2.5% of GDP by 2025. So, this is a long-term goal of the government to increase its percentage of expenditure on health. Next is education. Again, another very important social sector. Coming to school infrastructure, Jal Jeevan Mission and Samagra Shiksha scheme helped in improving basic facilities such as drinking water, sanitation facilities in schools. So, Jal Jeevan Mission and Samagra Shiksha scheme. So, Jal Jeevan Mission is aimed at providing drinking water to everyone. That is provision of drinking water facilities to everyone. And Samagra Shiksha. Samagra means comprehensive. Samagra Shiksha scheme is comprehensive education mission. Comprehensive education mission helped in improving basic facilities. Basic facilities like drinking water, sanitation facilities in schools. So that is with regard to Samagra Shiksha scheme and Jal Jeevan mission. Smart classrooms and ICT labs. So smart classrooms with the help of digital infrastructure and ICT, information and communication technology labs in schools through ICT component of Samagra Shiksha scheme. Through the information and communication technology component of the Samagra Shiksha scheme. Pupil teacher ratio increased at all levels. That is, the number of teachers has been increased. That is, for a particular group of students, the number of teachers allotted, that is the ratio. So, pupil teacher ratio has increased, which means that now for every small group of students there will be one teacher or more. Improvement in enrollment and reduction in dropout rate. So, enrollment has increased and dropout rates have reduced. So, two things, improvement in enrollment and reduction in dropout rate. Next is school enrollment. The enrollments increased across all levels, upper primary, secondary and higher secondary except for primary level. So, school enrollment has increased for all levels. This is the finding of the survey. upper primary, secondary, higher secondary, except for primary level, all other levels the school enrollment numbers have increased. Decline in enrollment at primary level was because of decline in total number of children in the age group of 6 to 10 years. Now, the reason why the enrollment in the primary level has declined, this is because of decline in total number of children in the age group of 6 to 10. That was the reason. So, that is again not to be taken in a negative way. This is just because the number of children in those age group was reduced. Improvement in gross enrollment ratio at all levels and improvement in gender parity. Gross enrollment ratio has increased in all levels, and also there is more gender parity, which means that the number of female students or girl children enrolled in the schools or getting enrolled in the schools are in par with the number of male or the boys getting enrolled in the school. In primary and upper primary levels, girls' GER, gross enrollment ratio, are better than boys as per the database in 2019-20. So, the conclusion we can say that gender parity has increased, the gross enrollment ratio has also increased. Coming to the school dropout. Decline in dropout rates at primary, upper primary, secondary levels for both boys and girls. There is a decline in the dropout rates at primary level, upper primary level, secondary level for boys and girls. Next is ASER. ASER is Annual Survey of Education. ASER report for rural areas found that during pandemic, children between the age group of 6 to 14 years who are not currently enrolled in schools increased from 2.5% to 4.6%. That is among small children, that is from 6 to 14 years. Earlier, the number of students who were not enrolled in schools were 2.5%. It increased to 4.6%. Then very important factor is digital divide, because during the pandemic the education system in the country was diverted to a digital platform. So this actually, the COVID pandemic exposed the risk and vulnerability of India's education system, and also the inequality in India's education system, especially when it comes to a digital platform or to a digital mode. That is, the digital divide in India is very high. Maybe we can compare it with rural-urban divide, or maybe income-wise economically weaker and economically well-off. So the digital divide in the country is very wide, and the COVID-19 pandemic actually exposed the risk of digital divide in the country. Children in rural areas have moved out of private to government schools in all three age groups. Now, children have moved out of private schools to government schools. Why? Because all the education, even in private schools, it was given through a digital platform. Now, the major reason why students or the parents prefer to send their children to private schools is because of the infrastructural facilities or the quality of education. Now, COVID-19 pandemic has shifted the school education to a digital platform, and through the digital platform, there was no much difference between private and government schools, and that's the reason we see that children have moved out from private schools to government schools at a large level. Students in lower grade found it difficult to do online activities compared to higher grade students. This is a finding that immediate shift from physical infrastructure to a digital infrastructure has posed many challenges for the students, especially among the lower grade students. Non-availability of smartphones, non-availability of phone for child to use, network issues, connectivity issues, all these were some other factors that posed challenge for the students to access the education. So that is regarding the educational sector. Next, we are going to deal with the major initiatives for the students during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we will continue in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again. Wish you all the very best.